Hello, Paul Wilkinson here. This is my video that I seem to do every year, like a yearly recap about what I've been up to and what kind of things I'll be doing in the year ahead. So the main thing I suppose I did musically last year that was available was a new album called Solo Live. So I was really pleased with this during this period of inaction, shall we say. Through to concerts not being on and such like, I was able to go to my good friend Andy Thornton, who's a great sound guru, and he mixed and mastered the album for me, and we spent a day, and I think Andy spent another day and a bit maybe just making it sound, topping and tailing it so it sounded nice. So for me it's quite a special release because it includes concerts from all over the United Kingdom, even a small island between England and Ireland called the Isle of Man, which was an amazing concert and an amazing piano. So I'm really pleased with this release. The CD version also features The Sound of Silence, Randy Newman's When She Loved Me, My Favourite Things, Pyramid Song by Radiohead, and there's a few of those limited edition CDs, so many thanks for all of you who purchased them. There's a couple left. It's on my Bandcamp pages to download the improvisations, which are there, but you'll see that actually the songs are only available on the CD. Anyway, I was really pleased to release that, and it seemed quite poignant, as I say, in the times that we're in. So other things, I've been working really hard on a couple of compositional projects. I'm into the second movement of my second symphony, and so I've written out quite a lot of the score for that, for the second movement. The first movement's orchestrated and everything, and I've been doing some vlogs about my symphony, which I know some of you have been watching and enjoying, so I'll carry on doing that. As I said, that kind of spurs me on to complete the project as well. So yes, I will be orchestrating the second movement soon once I get the momentum and the feel for that. I'm also, by accident it seems to have happened, started writing what could be a song cycle, a selection of some of my favourite poems, because I'm really inspired by some of this poetry, so I've started setting some of that to music, and these are ones I've written just recently. Actually, I've just written a couple, and there's a few more texts I have in mind. So yeah, I'll talk more about that in a second. So I've been working on that as well, and putting up all my YouTube videos as I do about music. I like to bring in different musical concepts that can be a form of cognition to enlighten you, to improve your playing or take you down a different path. And I've got some more planned for that. One particular big one I'd like to do about some piano pedagogy that is almost lost really on the internet, which is called ideokinetics. And I'd like to do a longer video about that, so hopefully I'll start that in the new year. So tune back for that if you're piano teachers and things and musicians interested in that kind of thing. I'm going to be using an old text from the 50s, which is no longer available. So to finish off this video, I just want to say thanks for watching these videos and thanks for all your support. It means a lot. The other thing I've been working on just as much for the last 4 or 5 years is a book, a hard thing to speak about, but a book about consciousness. So throughout my life there's been a couple of things that have been essential to my existence, I suppose, but one has been music and the other has been what we could call consciousness or extraordinary consciousness, or what we could call the awareness of awareness. So I've always been interested in ancient wisdom traditions of the past since I was a teenager, and explored some of these many ancient wisdom traditions over the last sort of 25 years, and had many great teachers in that area, which gives you a different perception of reality. You know, in the Vedanta tradition, you wake up into a dream. So the book is a long work, and it's changed over the last few years, and I'm hoping to maybe tie it up in 2021. We'll see, although it seems to be growing quite big. So it does feature music, talking about music as consciousness. It also features it's very much inspired by somebody called Owen Barfield. Owen Barfield was a member of the Inklings, so one of C.S. Lewis's great friends, And Barfield was really interested in the evolution of consciousness and how our consciousness has evolved and how it has changed for better or worse. I won't go into too much about that in this video. But I found Owen Barfield's work very influential in forming some of the ideas musically, and also it has helped inform the text a lot. Because to give you a little snippet, Barfield said that the mind doesn't exist in the brain. The mind is formed by other minds. So Barfield's not easy to grasp at first, but if you he does make things much clearer in understanding existence and reality. And his book there are many books, but the reason my text that I'm writing about, which I hope to finish, as I say, this year, is the idea of poetry as cognition. Just as music can transcend, poetry as a form of cognition. So Barfield said to C.S. Lewis once, let me get this correct. Oh yes, he says poetry is a change of consciousness. And C.S. Lewis says you've missed the word felt. Poetry is a felt change of consciousness. So poetry is a cognition to something else. You feel like if you read something, a poem, two roads diverge in a yellow wood, and I'm sorry I could not travel both and be one traveller. Long I stood. The road not taken, quite a famous poem. But you are brought back, almost if you've got your radio receiver up, you are brought back to the time the poet wrote that. So it's kind of it's not like an archaeologist where finds a spade. This kind of it's hard to speak to. This kind of perception of reality is like a fossil of consciousness. So you go back to these ancient texts, like I've been spending quite some time with Dante's Divine Comedy, the Inferno, and you brought back your cognition, your consciousness is kind of brought back to the time that they wrote that work. So anyway, I'm going a little bit, but this is all in the book that I'm writing. So yeah, I think I've said enough. So thanks for all your support. Hopefully you all have a great new year. And I thought it'd be quite nice. I'm just going to read just a random paragraph from the book that I've been working on for the last few years. David Bowen wrote a compelling book called Wholeness and the Implicate Order. Bowen was fascinated by his research results showing that subatomic particles that are far apart can communicate in a way not explained by physical signals travelling in the speed of light. These instantaneous non-local communications suggested to Bowen that space and the universe is not some empty void, but alive with infinite intelligence, life and possibilities. He then looked upon this to try and distinguish between fixed thinking and consciousness to reality. He thought fixed was a convenience, but not the truth. He believed that the universe was in flux, and to see thought and reality as separate did not make sense. Do scientists think in a fixed fashion looking out? Is this really empirical science? Yet in reality, the observer is the observed, in one whole flowing movement, seen as the same phenomenon. Not employing this kind of metacognitive approach means we are forever making false projects, categorizations and distinctions. When I play, compose and perform music, I know something through perception, but can't fully perceive it as it is in flux. If you ask somebody that is creative to explain their creation, whether music, words or art, it is very hard for them to do so. This is because creativity does not come from us. It is as a result of us being ready for this abstraction to unfold in the greater flow of intelligence. Bowen likes the radio receiver analogy. One's thought is tuned into frequency. It becomes order and meaning itself.